where he goes, when I get in this formation, they like to play these defenses. Well, I'm going to get in the lab with a pen and a pad and try to get this damn label off, okay? That was Dr. Dre, just in case you wanted to know. But he's going to guess it was. Oh, yeah. What up, mofos? How you doing? What's up?
Happening?
Ahmed, Fareed, Chris Simms right here.
I feel.
Did you know that line I used? Getting in the lab with a pen and a pad, trying to get this damn label off?
I look back at
They're saying Dre fell off?
No, I didn't know it.
Damn you.
I didn't know that. I don't know movie references.
Right.
I look back at my life and I wonder, like, what did I do?
I don't know. I'm really confused. I don't know what you did. I mean, you've lost culture in America. It's gone by you. I don't know.
I was watching a lot of TV,
right.
A lot of sports.
Okay.
But I don't have a good memory, and so I don't remember a whole lot of that either.
Yes. Well, either way, that was Dr. Dre reference, yes. And
forgot about Dre.
Yeah, so look at you. Right? Yeah, you're all over it.
I do know. Thank you, Pete.
And I was talking about my friend there, I believe, Kyle Shanahan. I think that was Thursday, which is 4 days ago. Oh, it was Frank Reich. Damn it.
But
it'll hold true to Kyle Shanahan as we get into that
echo
as well.
Those sentiments once again.
Yes.
Yeah, so
we got deep dive stuff coming in.
We do. So this is our Monday tradition, right? We go through, we're going to touch on every game.
Yep.
So every game we'll get a comment.
Yeah.
Whether it be one sentence or 35.
Could just be your team sucks and we move on. But we're going to get a comment.
We'll talk about every game. We will go deep diving into two of them. You guys picked on Twitter the two that you wanted Chris to look at game film of. Number one was 49ers Panthers.
Yep.
Number two we'll do a little bit later on is Packers-Chiefs, which we saw on Sunday Night Football, which we were kind of bummed that it wasn't going to be Brady and Rodgers and Mahomes.
Get your shit straight over here.
But it turned out to be Rodgers and more, which was still pretty good.
Sounds good. Sounds like a law firm, but either way, it was good. I thought it was a very exciting game. And we'll get into that. There's some interesting things, I think, particularly for both teams, but more for the Chiefs. You know, the Chiefs, within the loss, I'm encouraged with things I saw, and we'll get into that.
Okay.
But either way, I was impressed with the way they played last night, and, of course, Aaron Rodgers was phenomenal as well.
So before we get into Panthers and 49ers, let's do a couple, give me the headlines here.
Okay.
So let's start with Saints, who improved to 7-1.
Yeah.
Beat the Cardinals 31-9. The headline I picked for this one, I didn't go with Breeze. I didn't go with the Breeze
How
headline.
dare you?
I know.
I mean, you were supposed to go, it's a breeze.
I know, right? And
with
Breeze.
Breeze.
It was, right? 373 yards, 3 touchdowns for him.
I'm excited for your headlines, though.
But I went with Latavius Murray, spooks Cardinals with Chimera costume. So I think a good Drew Brees was helped by a good Latavius Murray. Who ran for 102 yards, 21 carries, a touchdown, had 9 catches, 12 targets for Latavius Murray. So
amazing.
Drew Brees went in there and was like, hey, Alvin, let's do this. He's like, no, I'm not him right now. It's like, whatever. Threw it to him 12 times. That was the most targets that Latavius Murray has ever had in his career. His previous high was 7. So he was good, but yes, it was a breeze for Drew Brees coming back. He looked sharp.
Yeah, he looked sharp. I mean, it's amazing. I said this on PFT this morning. I mean, I don't care who you are, Brees, Manning, Elway, Montana. I mean, when you miss 5 or 6 weeks, you know, I expect you to look a little rusty. It just looked like the same old Drew Brees, like he hadn't missed a beat. Really. And, you know, to what you're saying, I mean, again, it just shows the Saints they're not a one-trick pony. They're just not. It doesn't matter who's in or out of the lineup. Sean Payton is where it starts, and his great play design and the toughness he instills in the football team. And, you know, okay, he's the master of the short passing game, as we know Sean Payton. So, hey, let Latavius Murray get involved. My quarterback, he's getting back in the swing of things. Let's get him a lot of completions, 10 yards and under early on. He does that. And then as the game goes, they start to get more and more aggressive. But, Drew was phenomenal. Michael Thomas is phenomenal. Latavius Murray is phenomenal. And the Cardinals going for it down 10-6 on their own 29-yard line. Yeah. That was the changing point of the game. I mean, it really was. Cardinals got an interception. Yeah. They get the ball. Now it's 3rd and 1. They don't get the first. 4th and 1. They run it up the middle against a Saints D that I know we talked about. Bad play call, right. Just bad play call against truly the strength of the other team. and maybe the greatest strength of any D line in football. I mean, you've heard me say their run stopping defensive line is as good as it gets, but it really was never the same from that point on.
And you were really hard with Mike. I was listening to you guys talk about. You were really hard on Cliff for going for that. I'm hard on the play call.
Yeah,
bad play call.
Right.
I'm not as hard for them going for it. Yeah, it was your own 30. It doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I know.
And I know you look at it, oh, is this just a pure numbers play? And he's looking at the analytics.
Right.
The analytics say, oh, you should go for it there. It's a toss-up. I do think it sends a message to your offense that's positive.
It does.
As well. It's
I
think that you can get it, even with a bad play call. I think you can get the 1 yard. So I do think there are certain parts of it where, it didn't work out. And so if he could do it again, he probably would pick a different play or not do it at all. But I think that there's something to be said about having faith in your offense.
No, I don't disagree with you there. And it's funny you're bringing this up because I know I kind of went hard on that today on the show.
Both of you guys.
But I wasn't necessarily going hard on Cliff Kingsbury. Like, listen, I don't agree with the decision. His defense was doing well. The game was still in balance. Yeah, obviously the Saints are the better team. And really, listen, if he's closer to midfield, maybe I don't have an issue with it. My issue was not necessarily where I got into it. It's the analytics thing all the time. The analytics said it was a good call. The analytics were a good call. Well, yeah, okay, the numbers are a good call, but what about being there right now in the moment? And you're not necessarily known for being like the best running offense in football, and they are known for being one of the best run defenses in football. And you're going to run it up the middle and do that. That's where I just was like, analytics are great, but it just doesn't always tell the whole story. And, of course, the human aspect comes into it sometimes where the analytics can't take that into account. Oh, this week, we are outmatched in this area. The analytics say to do this, but we are physically outmatched with our human beings in this matchup, so I don't give a shit what the analytics say. But that's the new era we're in. That's why I kind of went hard. It wasn't necessarily on Cliff Kingsbury.
You do make a good point, too, because I'm a baseball guy, and analytics have taken over baseball.
Yeah.
And every GM now is basically a data scientist and not a scouting director. But there was a team, I don't remember if it was the Yankees or the Dodgers, but a very analytical team abandoned a certain set of their analytics this year because they felt like they were not accounting for enough variables. They felt like the data was wrong.
Right.
And so, it's easy to look at math if you only have a couple variables, but you're right. You got human beings out there, and you got so many variables that really you could not quantify. What the percent chances of gaining it here with all the different variables. So.
Exactly.
A little bit of give and take both sides.
Yep.
How about
Saints are awesome.
Before we get to the undefeated 49ers, let's do the undefeated New England Patriots. And my headline, they beat the Browns. The Browns now fall to 2-5, 27-13. My headline for 8th week in a row, Patsy loses to Pats. So that it seems like they don't ever play anyone. The New England Patriots. I mean, the way they play is a big reason.
I didn't get it at first. I got you now.
The Patsies lose to the Pats.
Yes.
So, but I was looking at there are 14 total wins by all Patriots opponents this year. That averages out to less than 2 wins per team they have played this year. The schedule obviously has been, they don't play in a very strong division. The schedule has been easy. They take on a Browns team that we thought maybe was going to be good, and they're turning out that they're not very good. And so the dominance continues for the Patriots, although I don't know that we know anything more about them this week than we did last week.
No, I do still think there's questions. I mean, we know they're the Patriots. They're really good. They're phenomenal. They're still the best team in the AFC. I don't care what their schedule is. You're right, they haven't really been tested. Yesterday was one of those days where I think they could have been tested. I do think the Browns showed, in my headline, like, no Believeland yet. I mean, I just don't believe in them because I feel like the Browns you guys will find a way to screw this up. I'm pretty sure, and
they had 3 turnovers in 3 straight plays.
And 3 straight plays, right. And again, I think they showed that their defense was good enough to slow down the Pats attack. They showed the ability to run the football at times, but it was just self-inflicted mistakes once again, whether it was bad play design or Nick Chubb, having his own guy kick him and the ball coming up, or him being a long run and then hey, guys come from behind and strip the ball out. That's what they do in the NFL. You got to be ready for that. It was a great strip, great everything, but when they're getting close there, you got to go 2 hands and kind of hold it in. But it's the Patriots, even with the easy schedule, seem to be dodging some bullets with teams messing up under the pressure of playing the Patriots, too, to where they're not tested that way. And it's just you're never going to pull off a win in New England that way when you turn over the ball, like you said, 3 times in a row.
Turnover margin this year for the Patriots.
Yeah.
They are plus 17.
It's insane.
Do you know the next best?
Oh, okay. I'm not.
Without looking it up.
Yep. No, I'm not going to look it up.
Like
you say I'm looking.
Like
I'm just looking
tied.
at the teams.
There are 4 teams tied.
Well, I got to think San Francisco is towards the top, right?
They're up there. I do know
Green
Seattle's
Bay
up
might
there.
be up to the top, maybe. No.
But what about the number? So they're plus 17.
Yes,
New England.
right.
There's a bunch of teams below them tied.
Yeah.
Where do you think they're at? Plus
like
what?
plus 8, maybe.
Plus 7.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah.
They're 10 better than any other team in the NFL in turnover margin.
Yeah, it's not only the talent, but then the scheme and the confusion are all adding to the turnovers that the Patriots are forcing on a week-to-week basis, and it's amazing defense the way they're playing right now.
Packers, Steelers, Seahawks, and Titans.
Packers, Steelers, Seahawks, and Titans. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are tied at -7?
Those are at plus 7.
Plus 7, excuse me.
They're all
yes,
at plus 7,
yes.
and New England's at plus 17 this year. Shout out to Patriots linebacker Jamie Collins, 12 solo tackles, most this week in the NFL, 1.5 sacks.
Gosh, he's like found a new career. I mean, up in New England again. It's like a second wind. Well, yeah, but again, it shows just that scheme fit is real. I mean, it's a real thing. Oh, hey, you're here and you did well. Everybody else in football wants you. We trade you to a team, and they think, we got the guy that does well. He should do well for us. Well, you're not playing him the same way the team he just came from and was playing well with. And then you expect the same results. I mean, as you know, with anything, I mean, you have to be put in a position to succeed to where, hey, these are the strengths and weaknesses of this player, and we're going to try to limit the amount of situations we put him in his weak situations and accentuate and try to put him in a lot of strength positions a lot, and you're seeing that. And he's got a very versatile base as far as outside linebacker, inside linebacker, can cover people, can rush the passer, so he's pretty damn good.
And what did you think at the end of the game? Odell Beckham had a gift for Tom Brady.
Oh, what was the gift? I didn't know that.
Gave him some cleats. Here,
I remember hearing. I remember hearing that.
Hair.
Wow.
Goat hair, apparently.
Wow. That's kind of cool. Odell's cleat game is unmistaken. The best part of that picture, though, okay?
Yeah.
Is the background.
Is Baker.
Like Baker looking like, hey, I didn't get one of those. Yeah. Why didn't I get one of those?
I mean, he might have gotten one of them, but
no, he doesn't get goat hair cleats. If he did, then that's false advertisement. Okay, there's only a few people that should get goat hair cleats. Okay, and I'm very interested to watch that film because I would like to see too. Odell made some comments after the game about he thought they were going to be a little more aggressive towards him because I think they expected he might get some one-on-one coverage. And from what I saw on TV, it did look like he got played one-on-one more than I've seen. Yeah. Now, I don't know that on TV. I need to watch the film to see where the safeties were at and everything like that. But, I would have thought they would have found some ways to get him the ball in his hands a few more times.
One more nugget for the Patriots defense. They're giving up touchdowns in the red zone just 14% of the time, by far the best in the NFL.
Yeah, well, shocker. That's where they're always phenomenal. They score touchdowns, you kick field goals. We score touchdowns, you kick field goals. And you look up and it's 21-9, and you go, man, we feel like we're going toe-to-toe. Yeah, well, they're scoring touchdowns, and you're kicking field goals.
So let's go to the other team that will be in the Super Bowl taking on the Patriots in a couple months from now.
I mean, nothing's changed my opinion from that yesterday.
We're going deep dive into Panthers versus 49ers.
Yep.
We thought, okay, the 49ers, similar to the Patriots, have had some easy games, and the schedule hasn't taxed them as much as maybe some other teams out there.
Sure.
So we thought, okay, this is good. This is a good test for that running game against the Carolina defense, and we'll see. The Carolina offense has been okay without Cam, and so we'll see how they handle a elite defense in the 49ers, and the answer was not well.
No.
They didn't handle it.
Not well at all. I mean, just got overwhelmed. Now, a lot of the game, and we're going to talk about Panthers O, 49ers D here to start it off, but, of course, the Panthers O was put in a bad spot from the get-go because their defense got run over early, so that kind of made them abandon maybe their total game plan and what they want to do. I mean, they looked up and they were going, oh, my gosh, it's 21-3, and we're just getting warmed up here. I think the big thing the big thing for me, more than anything, is the 49ers, what I saw on film in this game, and a lot like the Patriots, you can't just go, oh, we're going to come out and run our stuff against you. Like the 49ers, if you're just going to run your stuff and run like, basic pass concepts and think you're going to like get by beating the 49ers defense that way, no. The 49ers defense is arguably the best in football. They are every bit in conversation with the New England Patriots. I just like to, right now, yardage-wise, they're the #1 defense in football. Points-wise, it's New England. But so you have to do some things to take away their aggressiveness through your schematics. And that's, I think, the biggest issue I had with the game in general. There was none of that, okay? The run game maybe had a chance to be successful if the game stayed close, but we'll never know because the game wasn't close. And then, to just come out with kind of a, for lack of a better, just a middle-of-the-road passing attack and thought that was going to get it done against this defense. It's just, I don't see. I did not like the game plan, I guess is what I'm saying going into this.
Do they feel that Kyle Allen can handle anything?
Well, I think this is the formula this is the point, and that's a great question, and that's where I want to go with this, because that's where I was trying to go as I was fumbling around with my words here. They've won that way to this point. They've been able to just go, hey, we'll play defense, we'll feed Christian McCaffrey the ball, and we'll run the pass plays that we run the first 2 weeks of training camp with Kyle Allen, and if he just executes them the right way, that's good. That's good. That'll work against Arizona's and some of the other teams in football. But I'm just saying, if they want to beat the elite teams, like if they want to, and I don't know if you read all my notes, but if they want to play with the big boys in the NFC, they're going to need to do more. And that's where, to me, and again, I've been saying, like, hey, don't switch out Kyle Allen yet. Kyle Allen, if you ride this wave until it ends. And, this was one little glimmer in, and I'm not saying they make the switch yet, but a little glimmer into the evidence of going, I don't know if this will be enough to beat the upper echelons of the NFC when they want to. If they want to get in the playoffs, they need a quarterback that can make some plays on his own when the defense is dominating. They need a quarterback where the coordinator can orchestrate some plays and go, oh, this play's going to f them up this week. I mean, our quarterback with his skill set throwing 50-yard lasers. So they can't do and bring anything unusual to the pass game to stress a defense out that way either. And it all just snowballed into the 49ers just kind of whooping their ass.
Did they try when they were down 27-3? You made a note that they tried to throw outside the numbers a little bit more. Did they try to open it up a little bit?
Well, they did. They tried to a little bit, but it was just too little too late because at that point, too, the other issue was, there were still throws there to be had outside the numbers. And what Ahmed's referring to, the 49ers, they're put 7 and 8 guys at the line of scrimmage every play. So you have to almost come out going, we're going to make them think. We're going to do lots of change of direction stuff because they're so fast and aggressive. But the big thing is they're really going to try to scare you away from running the ball with numbers, and they're going to scare you away from throwing the ball in the middle of the field because they're going to have 8 guys kind of there between the tackle box. And what you're referring to is you have to throw the ball outside the numbers against the 49ers. You got to do that at least at first. That's where they're most vulnerable. They play a lot of single safety looks. It's either 3-deep zone or man-to-man. And they'll give you out routes and comebacks and deep curls and, go routes if the corner gets a little, sneaky looking into the backfield. Yeah. But they did not do that. And the 49ers were all over their stuff early, and then they got them into a game of throwing the ball, and their pass rush took over.
Christian McCaffrey broke another long one. The MVP debate, although it seems like it's going towards the quarterbacks as it always does with Aaron Rodgers having a couple good weeks.
He's still phenomenal.
117 yards, 14 carries. Had a 40-yard touchdown run. Yeah. And on that run, I want to give some props to some wide receivers out there.
Okay, cool.
I was looking at it. DJ Moore had a good block on Quan Alexander.
Yep. DJ Moore, he came down right from the left side and blocked him down and pinned him inside. That was really well done.
He only had 5 catches, 38 yards, but that was a key play.
He's a player,
DJ
play
Moore. For them. And then downfield, you got Jarius Wright, who did just enough getting in the way of Jimmy Ward. Right. And then you had a good block by Curtis Samuel on Richard Sherman. So I wanted to give props to the wide receiver coach, Jim Hostler.
Way to go.
His first year in Carolina. Yeah. It was just a cool play to see, the wide receivers you think all the time. And you do see sometimes when the play's not coming their way, or if it's a running play, they're just jogging off into the distance. Those were 3 wide receivers that were making key blocks on that play.
Willing to do it. I think if you look at any successful running team, like even the 49ers, if we switch it around to them or the other teams in the NFL that run it well, they have receivers that are willing to block. That's a big part of the game. We don't ever talk about it. It's not sexy, but it is. When you see big runs like that, it's usually sprung by a wide receiver making a big block on a safety or hustling downfield to get in the way of that last guy who might make the tackle. And, those three guys are football players that the Carolina has at the receiver position.
And Nick Bosa is really good.
Nick Bosa is insane. I can't get over how much better week by week. It's just more explosive, disruptive. I mean, not only his first step and the fact that he can bend around the corner and get his shoulder a foot and a half off the ground, but his little abilities to just side-to-side movement where he can get the tackle kind of off balance, not knowing which way he's going to go there. He's got great feel, one to get his hands up, as we saw in the interception, and even other pass plays where he just gets his hands in the way of the quarterback as they're trying to throw the ball. He's a superstar. He's a superstar, and I didn't think I was going to say this, but I think he's made for the NFL more than his brother, especially in the pass rushing aspect. He's just got a little more compact and explosive than Joey, which makes him that much more dangerous when he's coming off the edge.
I remember in the draft I was out there in the Bay Area, and every win that the 49ers got, it was like, we're losing our chance at Nick Bosa. We're blowing it because for the longest time it was obvious, right? It was going to be Nick Bosa, and he was sitting out his final year at Ohio State just so he could stay healthy and be the #1 pick in the draft. And then Kyler Murray got noticed, and then you got Cliff over there that loved him. So that helped both Nick Bosa and obviously the 49ers.
Yeah, the 49ers, the key to their team right now is that, they're allowed to play an 8-man box like I'm talking about, but they don't really have to blitz ever. Their front four can get to the quarterback all by themselves. Their front four can stop the run all by themselves. They don't need we got to bring the linebacker or the nickel back off the edge to help our D-line to stop the running. They don't have to do any of that. And it's deep, it's talented, and with Bosa, it does. It's taken them another level because you got D Ford with the trade with the Chiefs and all of that, but now you just got one other weapon there, and they're game wreckers. And we've seen a lot of really awesome defenses in the Super Bowl era when they have more than one game wrecker. Those kind of players can win games in playoffs in the Super Bowl because of their great physical ability.
That interception was sick.
Insane.
3 sacks. Would you put him in the top 3 of Defensive Player of the Year candidates right now?
You know what? Okay, that's a really good question.
We had Shaq Barrett there early in the year.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I think him and Miles. So right now, Bosa and Myles Garrett come to my mind right off the bat. Yeah. So, and Aaron Donald is still in that conversation. Sure. I don't give a damn what his numbers say. So he's there. I'm just trying to think if I'm missing anybody else. Cam Jordan's been phenomenal.
He's been really good.
Phenomenal. So he would be another guy that I think's in the convo. And, gosh, I don't know who you'd go with on New England. The New England's got a few guys where I feel like you could
spread the vote. Right?
Well, it's you could go Gilmore, Van Noy, Jamie Collins. All three are having really special years.
McCourty maybe.
But no, I think I would with Nick Bosa. I think
put him in there.
I would have been top 3. I would right now. Yes, I would.
49ers defense is good. Last year they had the worst interception rate in the NFL. This year they're second to go along with the best sack per pass rate in the NFL right now.
Well, and it's all about, the up front guys that are causing a lot of these issues. The Patriots, it's the same way. Their up front guys are causing the issues, but they're getting to cause the issues more because their back end's so good that they can give you a lot of different blitz looks and things like that. And then all of a sudden you just, somebody's coming free. I got to get the ball out of my hand. Interception. Patriots got it. San Francisco can do it just with their front four like we're talking about, where they don't want to play a ton of man-to-man and do that stuff. They just go, hey, tree trunks, Buckner and Armstead, get in there. And then freak shows on the edge. You get in there too. And the quarterback will do something stupid because he'll panic when you guys are getting close. And that's kind of how they're doing it.
And there was a time there where Eric Armstead, there was worries, dude, they take him too high. Is he not going to pan out to be as high as we drafted him? But he's been so good this year.
So good.
Taking a big step.
Yep.
Is that it? Panthers O, 49ers
I think so.
D?
I don't think there's anything more to say that. I just think with the 49ers, you better come out aggressive. If you think you're just going to come out running basic this is what we do, bullshit. Sorry. It ain't going to fly with San Francisco. Plus, you need to push the envelope here because of what we're seeing with San Francisco's offense. They're so capable of putting up points and numbers and yards that if you don't come into the game facing them going, we need to do this too, then you're going to be in trouble. It's a little like the Kansas City effect. You got to kind of break out of your molds when you play San Francisco right now because we're going to talk about it. Their offense is on fire. Fire. Fuego.
Running the football.
And fuego.
49ers O versus Panthers D. So here it is.
Yeah.
I mean, they can just run the football on anyone.
Anybody.
Tevin Coleman, 4 touchdowns, 3 in the first half. Had 11 carries, 105 yards, 2 catches, 13 yards, another touchdown there. He faced an 8-man box more than any other running back this week, 64% of the time. Didn't matter.
No.
He was amazing once again. And I know from watching the film here, and you like what Kyle has done up to this point this year.
Yeah.
You just feel like that play design of the running game might be number 1 in the NFL right now?
I think it's number 1. It is. I mean, because to your point, it's an 8-man box, but the scheme is so good, it just doesn't matter. Oh, we're outnumbered. It doesn't matter. I'm going to find ways to just screw your scheme over. And really, for all those out there, go back and look at the highlights of the touchdown runs. Again, yes, they have talent, so I'm not trying to take away from the running backs. Yeah. They're home run hitters. We know their O-line's good. But some of these holes are created in some of these plays, whether you think of the Deebo Samuel's, his touchdown, or you think of Tevin Coleman's, the draw play up the middle for, 50 yards, the toss sweep to Tevin Coleman where, nobody's touching this guy. They're not down in two-hand touch. So that just tells you all the things they're doing in the run game that are exposing the scheme. The thing that's brilliant about Shanahan is we know he's famous for the inside and outside zone, the Shanahan zone scheme, everything like that. But he doesn't beat his head in the wall with it. So in this game, he came out and basically said, I'm going to do all the things to keep the Panthers honest so they can't over-defend my normal run game early. And he came out, speed sweep, reverse, fake speed sweep, you run up the middle, to where backside pursuit defenders and stuff are always like, oh, I got to stay home. Oh, wait, there's the run. Oh, wait, no, he's coming back out the back door. And they don't know what the hell to expect. So you take away the aggressive nature of the front 7 or the front 8 from what the Panthers are playing in that game. And, slowly but surely, then all of a sudden their heads spinning around, gosh, speed, sweep, reverse, there's coming everywhere. Then all of a sudden the basic normal run plays start to work because now they're going, I got to be patient and be home because, he might give the guy the zone handoff, but he might give the guy the speed sweep or the shuffle pass that comes around or the reverse or the fake reverse pass. And that's where Shanahan is brilliant right now. He's playing his offense off of each other, and you just have no feel for what they're going to do.
And they're all fast.
They're very fast.
Any given week, they could be the fastest ball carrier in the NFL.
They're the fastest team in football maybe right now. I think we just talked about their defense, and you see it. You're watching it. You like the 49ers.
Yep.
Yeah, between that, the running backs, the way they hit the hole, you're right. It's one of the fastest teams and certainly one of the fastest offenses in the game.
So what'd you think of Emmanuel Sanders? They got him out there, 55 of 67 snaps, 82%, most by a wide receiver. Did catch a touchdown, first touchdown of the game for the 49ers, but didn't need him that much.
No, they didn't.
4 catches.
It's a good way to kind of just break him in, get him going. He is certainly going to have a role within the offense, but they just didn't need it yesterday, so it didn't matter. He's going to be the go-to guy. I don't doubt that at all. But when you run the ball that way and do everything that they did on that side of the ball, there was no reason. They never had to get back into the drop-back pass type of football game because everything else was working. Between all the creative run designs and the screens, I just want to tell anybody out there, go back and watch the first 3 drives of that game by the 49ers. It's just one, I call these plays, one after another. Oh, it's fake the run to the left, fake the reverse to the left, screen out the back door to the tight end. Fake the run hard to the left. Oh, screen to the receiver way on the other side of the fall on the line of scrimmage. And the linemen it's just one play after another of wow, that's a really cool way to do that, and that's a really good way, an easy way to get yards.
Utilizing all the weapons. They utilized George Kittle once again, 6 catches, 86 yards, had a touchdown that was called back on a block. But he had 7 targets. Emmanuel Sanders had 5. Who do you think has more targets moving forward on the 49ers, Kittle or Sanders?
I think it'll still be George Kittle, just because he's such a special talent, and then because of their run game and they want to do more off of that, off of the run game, there's just more creative ways to kind of use the tight end than there is maybe the receiver. The receiver, Emmanuel Sanders, certainly going to be a big part of it, but Yeah, I mean, I just think Kittle fits really nicely within the formula of the way Kyle Shanahan wants to run his offense.
49ers off to their best start since 1990 when they won their first 10 games of the season. Carolina had won 4 in a row. So what do you think about the Carolina Panthers D? I mean, we thought they were a pretty good defense coming in weekly, and this is a defense that might finally slow down this 49ers offense, this run game, but they did not.
No, they did not. You know, and this is like just a few things I starred in my notes. I wrote down. I'm not sitting here going, wow, the 49ers just physically are whooping the Panthers. Like, oh my gosh, they're just pushing the line of scrimmage back. And no. What they did is Shanahan's on fire, and because of his play design and pre-snap motions and shift, he had their head spinning, so they didn't know which way to go. It was literally like, which way did he go? Which way did he go? So there's that. You know, the other thing is this Panthers defense is good. But when you're playing the elite offenses of the football, you can't, again, a little like their offense, you can't just come out and go, we're just going to do what we do. Oh, okay. Well, the guy on the other sidelines knows what you're doing. And he's scary.
We've been waiting for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, those are the things that you got to be a little different when you play the upper echelons teams in football and know, oh, okay, our defense is good, but we're playing a special play designer and offense here. You know, I might have to change up some of my tendencies. Usually on 2nd and 7, I play this coverage. But this week, man, this guy, he's really good when he's got a feel for what you do. I'm gonna change my coverage on 2nd and 7 from what I normally do because I just don't want him to get a beat. I just thought with the way they lined up, they were a little too predictable, and you know I'm into disguising too. And when you're just going to line up in what we line up in against the elite of the NFL on offense, you're going to get roasted. I don't care who you are.
Jimmy Garoppolo didn't have to do a ton.
No.
18 to 22, so just 4 incomplete passes, 175 yards. One of those incomplete passes was an interception, but did throw 2 touchdowns. Happy with what you saw from him?
Yeah, I mean, happy. I mean, again, I think it's still like a question mark as far as, you know, that's what I find fascinating about the Patriots and the 49ers. They're so good that they've yet to have a game where they have to rely on their quarterbacks to go. And that's no disrespect to either one. I mean, they're both playing really well and winning football games, but they haven't had that game yet where you go, man, our run game's not great. Our defense is kind of struggling. I got to do it today. I got to make it happen. But you know, maybe they won't have to. That maybe that's how good they are. Maybe they're going to be able to do this the whole year.
Good running game.
Right. Just play balanced football, and you know, we'll make a play here and there, and that's all you got to do.
51-13, 49ers 7-0.
Insane.
They got to play Thursday night now at Arizona.
Yeah.
So,
yep. That is. That should be a win. No doubt about it.
We got it.
We got it. I think we hit it all.
That was a good one. I like that one. We got into the X's and O's. Let's go through a few more headlines here. Let's go over to the Rams. We'll stay out west. They defeat the Bengals.
Well, actually, they were really
London.
East, right?
Yeah, you're right?
Out west in East London.
If you fly far enough west, you'll eventually get there.
You'll eventually hit it. Yes, you will.
So they improved to 5-3, the 24-10 win. My headline?
Yeah.
Kupp runneth after the catch.
I like it.
So
I like
Cooper Kupp was amazing. 220 yards, 1 touchdown on just 7 catches. Had that reverse flea flicker 65-yard touchdown where he got the handoff. He pitched it to BW, or no, he pitched it.
Yeah.
He made BW Webb fall down before he even caught it.
Right.
Caught it and then scored a touchdown.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
He's legitimately good.
Oh no, like legitimately. This is not just a system guy. This is a guy that's physically gifted. Like he can run away from people. He's a really good route runner. He's a pretty big guy when you see him in person. I mean, I don't know what Cooper Kupp is. I'm gonna say 6'1" or 2, somewhere around that.
That's bigger than I would have thought.
Yeah. But no, he was the star of the game, and I think. Again, I want to sit here and go, I'm surprised the Rams didn't dominate them more. Well, you got to take this into account. The head coach on the other side used to work for the Rams, so he knows a lot about, what they want to do and how to attack their team and all of that. So I wasn't shocked by that. I think my other takeaway from this game, more than anything, would be this: the Rams no longer can depend on just being a run team. It's Jared Goff in the pass game. And I've been known as a Jared Goff hater through my life because people were like,
because
he's one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football. I'm a hater on stupid narratives, okay? That's what I'm a hater on. And when they were winning, and then last year going, he's one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football. Why? Because the team went to the Super Bowl?
Right.
No, he's not. But then they lose 3 games, and people go, Jared Goff stinks. And now lately I have people going, man, you're defending Jared Goff a lot. Well, yeah, because the narrative has stupidly gone in the wrong direction again now. Yeah. Now he went from, hey, he's top 5, you're stupid, how could you not call him top 5? To now he's, they should have never paid him that contract. Jared Goff, through their losing streak and yesterday, has played really, really well. Okay, the 49ers game I know statistically wasn't good, but the 49ers were good and we're all over that shit. There's nothing you can do. I just saw again just yesterday, I just thought a number of throws where I went, damn, like, okay, Jared Goff, he's putting it on the dime.
You're going to put him in the damn okay
category?
I'm
putting him already there. Well, when you throw it 17, when you have 17 completions and you throw for 372 yards, and I know one of those was the Cooper Kupp run after catch, but still, Cooper Kupp had another big pass play down the middle of the field. He was double covered, and Goff just threw it right on him. I'm just seeing more and more throws like that. So I don't like the fact that everything's gone the opposite way with Goff. I don't like that aspect.
You think he's comfortably a top 15
yes,
quarterback in the NFL?
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm trying to say. Yes, that's all I'm trying to say.
One more stat on Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
He has more yards after the catch, 404, than Brandon Cooks has total receiving yards this year at 402.
Wow.
So
yeah. Well, it speaks to, I think, his size and physicality.
He's 6'2".
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp.
He's 6'2"?
I would have lost a lot of money thinking he was like 5'11".
Yeah, no, I know. I think a lot of people think he's like a little more Julian Edelman.
That's what I thought,
yeah,
too.
I know. He surprised me when I met him for the first time. I was like, damn, okay.
What's going on here? You're taller than I thought. So Rams get a win, as do the Seahawks, with taking on the 1-7 Atlanta Falcons. Beat them by a touchdown. Really, it was not as close as the score indicated. It was 27-11 with 5 minutes to go here. My headline, passing yards rendered meaningless because Matt Schaub threw for 460.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I mean,
they don't mean anything anymore.
No,
like when there's two, it's just like they lost all meaning.
Well, yeah, when you're down 24-0 and you're not throwing the ball for yards within those first 24 points, it does not count the same.
They threw 52 times.
Right. Now, I'm a little disappointed that the Seahawks couldn't give them that finishing blow there late in the game and let them hang around. But I think this speaks to the bigger problem of, the Seahawks in the secondary, they're a little questionable. They really are. And if their defensive line can't ruin the football game, you're going to be able to gash them for passing yards. And that's kind of what I saw yesterday. Let alone, I'm interested to see, and again, you always have to take into account, just like we just talked about with Rams-Bengals, when coaches have familiarity with each other. And this was another matchup. Dan Quinn came from Seattle. So he knows little things that Pete Carroll might want to do. He might understand some of Pete Carroll's philosophies as what he tells the offense and what they want to do. But I was a little surprised that even, with the 24-point lead, that life was so hard for the offense at times, and Russell Wilson couldn't find, people to throw to as much as I would have thought.
Falcons, it continues to be bad for them. They go into their bye week with questions. The owner, Arthur Blank, was talking to reporters, saying we got no plans on making any changes right now. He said we have a lot of intelligence on the coaching staff, which they do. I mean, Dan Quinn's been to a Super Bowl. You got Dirk Cutter there. You have Mike Mularkey. You have Raheem Morris. You got all these former head coaches in the NFL.
Right.
Seems like with experience, you'd have a pretty good staff, but something's just not working there for the Falcons. And obviously not having Matt Ryan hurt, but then your quarterback comes in and throws for 460. So
right. I mean, hey, listen, they're better with Matt Ryan. I don't doubt that at all. But Schaub is still serviceable, understands the offense, and they got weapons. So that was a good matchup for them. Like, that would have been a dangerous game if Matt Ryan plays. I do believe that. Because, Julio and Calvin Ridley, they would have had a field day on I think, and they did have a field day in a lot of ways against that Seahawks secondary.
Seahawks get a win. Let's do a couple more before we get into our deep dive of the Packers win.
I love listening
Chiefs.
To your
the headline.
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
let's
go over to the NFC North because we are going to get to the Packers and Chiefs here in a second. Lions defeat the Giants. Lions improved to 3-3-1. Giants go down to 2-6, 31-26, the final score. My headline.
Sorry, Jonald.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, Jonald McDonald.
Staff believes in staff.
Oh.
So the coaching staff believes in Matt Stafford because they were up, 5 with 12 minutes to go. And some teams, fourth quarter, you're like, okay, let's just run the ball. Let's not do anything dumb here. Darrell Bevell said, no, we're going to do something dumb. Turned out not to be dumb at all. Flea flicker to a wide open Kenny Galladay who beat Antoine Bethea. Matt Patricia said after the game, I was holding my breath on that one, but
Right.
they went for it, and I give them a lot of credit because it was a touchdown.
Yeah, good job by you, first off. I like your little play on words there. Stafford's been phenomenal, okay? We all want to shit on Stafford when he didn't play well last year. Now, okay, let's self-evaluate. Oh, Stafford's been good. I'd like to hear some talk about how Stafford's playing so well because he's one of those guys and nobody wants to talk about unless it's bad, and then everybody wants to tell you how shitty he is.
Matt Stafford.
I do too. Yeah. He's going to go down as one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the history of football because he didn't have a great team around him. But to your point with that play, first off, Patricia, he knows something about trick plays coming from Belichick in New England. And this, I'll give Darrell Bevell a lot of credit too, the offensive coordinator, because I complain about this. Why is it that New England's like the only team that runs trick plays? They're the one team that doesn't need to run them ever, and has 19 years of dominance. They seem to have all the trick plays, and everybody else is like, oh, we're just going to run our stuff. We're good enough with our stuff. We'll run our stuff. Yeah. But the team that can invent every pass play and run play in the history of mankind, somehow they have enough time to dial up trick plays too. That was a huge play, you're right, and a huge moment where the momentum had gone back to the Giants side. I mean, Daniel Jones played phenomenal. Really, you look at that game, Daniel Jones' early lateral pass to Saquon Barkley that got picked up and run for a touchdown. That was a big moment in the game. It put the Giants in the hole early, then they went 3 and out. The Lions got the ball back, went down and scored. So before the Giants even got going, they were down 14-0, but Daniel Jones didn't blink once again and really played awesome.
They have lost 4 in a row, have the Giants now, and they're going to have a players-only meeting.
Oh, no.
You had those?
Oh, yeah. That's when shit gets straightened out.
Does it really or not?
Hey, guys, we got to play harder. Guys, we got to get to the meetings 3 minutes before they start, not 30 seconds.
They go, that sounds like a coach. Get out of here.
Players
meetings, only.
I never was a fan of player meetings.
You had them, though?
I had them. I'm not going to name people who got them, but it was usually.
They were not motivating to you?
No, it really was not. It's, it's a lot of nonsense and hot air and guys pounding their chest like, hey, look, I'm a leader.
Yeah.
Hey, how about just like when we're in the middle of the meeting, be like, hey, pay attention, or you're in practice field, just yell at everybody and be like, hey, what are we doing out here?
Or when we're on the field, just win the game.
Yeah, or do that. That would help too.
Anymore. Yeah, no. So that's going on. Lions get the win. Bears lose. They lose by a point, 17-16 to the Chargers. A last-second 41-yard field goal goes just left. So my headline, Matt Nagy shows confidence in kicker, holder, and long snapper. No confidence in anyone else. So that's
funny.
my headline. He had a lot of confidence in that kicking game.
Yes,
and that was about it.
We are not getting any closer. You guys are too good.
In fact, we'll go farther away. We'll go a yard back because we feel like that'll give us a better chance. Matt
Nagy's okay. His explanation, like, hey, we're not throwing the ball. I get
zero thought of running the ball, zero thought of.
Yeah, I'm not going to say like the zero thought of the running the ball thing. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, I get it. Like, hey, I understand where he's coming from, but I still think at the end of the day, with one time out there in that type of scenario, and you have run the ball with some decent success on the day, that I would have pounded up the middle maybe once or twice more just to get a little closer. It is Chicago. It is windy. You are famous right now for having kickers, choke in the clutch. That's the only thing I would argue. I'm not going to sit here and go, that was the dumbest thing ever. I don't think it was that egregious.
It probably didn't change the percentages all that much.
Probably not a whole lot. But unless, you ran a ball up the middle with Montgomery and he all of a sudden ripped one for 15.
Which is probably unlikely.
Probably unlikely, yes.
Because they're
expecting run. I get that. I understand that.
Even though he did have 135 yards.
Yes, a lot of it on one run. But I think the game, to get back to the point of the whole game, the game was won or lost in the first half. When the Bears got inside the 10-yard line 4 times and came away with 9 points. They kicked 3 field goals and missed 1 field goal. And that, to me, was really as we've talked about a lot in recent weeks, when you have your foot on the team's throat and you don't put them away, and the other team has a guy like Phillip Rivers who's not going to just fold the tent and say, okay, let's go home. This is not our day.
Right.
You can let them hang around, and, eventually they made a play. And what they did, Melvin Ingram gets a strip. They got an interception. Phillip Rivers finds an Eckler out on the right side, and he makes a guy miss, and it's a touchdown. And all of a sudden you go, man, we've been dominating the game. We're losing 17-16. How does that happen? Well, that's what happens in the NFL. They got pros too.
Joey Bosa is one of those pros for the Chargers, had 4 tackles for a loss, most this week in the NFL, 3 quarterback hits, 2 sacks. So right when you were about to pass the torch from one Bosa to the other, they both had a good game.
I know. I would like to see more of it. I saw a few plays where he was back there yesterday too. He still did not pop off the screen the same way like Nick Bosa did. There was just a few plays in the game yesterday where, we're trying to watch it all, where I just was like, I know it's Nick Bosa by the way he's in his stance and the way he comes off the ball, and you just go, ooh, is he going to turn the corner? Ooh, it's just every play you're kind of on edge to see what he does.
And with the Bears, one positive for the Bears that I hope doesn't get overlooked, the special teams coach is Chris Tabor. You look at the kick and you're like, that's how you lost the game. I was like, the one thing they do have, their best offense, is their special teams. Tariq Cohen, Cordero Patterson, number 1 in yards per kickoff return,
they
number
set
1
them
in
up
yards
a lot.
per punt return in the NFL. Where would they be without that?
No, I know. They would be in really deep crap because, I'll at least say Nagy gave the run game a chance yesterday, but the lack of identity showed itself more in those red zone trips that ended up in the field goal. They have no red zone offense. They have no bread and butter plays to make a defense go, we have to stop the bread and butter, and that opens up other stuff. And that's to me an issue too. I mean, even look at their red zone plays. It's sideline to sideline. It's drop back, and we'll just throw a jump ball fade to a guy that's not even that famous for catching jump balls, whatever it is. And it just kind of goes back to their lack of identity as an offense altogether.
Bears fall to 3-4. Time to talk about the Packers. That was our Sunday night game.
Yep.
Mike Tirico was able to talk to Aaron Rodgers before we hear a snippet of that interview.
Lucky him.
We gotta pump up Mike Tirico again. This is the part of the podcast where we say how great Mike is.
Yes.
It's a little like we get
it's
it.
Redundant.
Okay? Yeah, it's redundant. We get it. Mike is really good. He's good at what he does, at whatever he does.
Right. So having said that, Mike Tirico's really awesome. Really good at what he does, all right?
Yeah.
Check out the Mike Tirico podcast. Football Night in America, Week 8 recap with the guys, Tony, Rodney, Florio. And then he did have a full interview with Aaron Rodgers last week. It was really cool. Rodgers opens up. I always respect that about Aaron Rodgers. He's not afraid to kind of speak his mind and say some things. So check that out. That full interview is on NBCSports.com. And it'll be on TV, or what is that, on Thursday? It'll be on Thursday at 10 Eastern.
We're going to put it on TV?
It'll be on NBC Sports Network, NBCSN. It'll be on there. And here, we got a little bite we want to play just from Tirico and Aaron Rodgers together in the press box.
You've been really consistent at your press conferences, calling out the offensive line, 6 sacks in 7 games, the defense and the playmaking that they've achieved. How much of a burden do you feel is off of you now that you don't have to be Houdini every snap?
Well, I want to be Houdini. I want to be Houdini as long as I can. I want to keep playing the way I play, but the offensive line doesn't get a lot of credit. They need to hear it from me. Those press conferences go a long way, and I know what I'm doing. And I know it's important that they hear it consistently, and the message is consistent with who I think is really helping us win games. I know my responsibility and my role and the expectations the guys have on me to play well each week. I have the same for myself.
So I'm going to listen. I know that.
Yeah, he wants to be Houdini.
Yeah,
he was again.
He was again, yes.
Again.
He might only have a few years left of being Houdini. But yes, last night.
35 now?
Yeah, I think he's 35.
So let's go deep dive.
Yeah,
go
let's
into
do
it. So we'll start with the Packers offense versus the Chiefs D. If I had to do a headline for this one, I would say running errands, because it was a couple running errands, scrambling Aaron Rodgers, and then Aaron Jones, who had 67 yards rushing, 159 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns for him. People thought this game was going to be maybe more of a blowout. Chiefs defense has not been world beaters by any means. Has been a little more aggressive lately, which has been good to see.
Yes.
So it took a while for that Packers offense to kick into gear, but you did the deep dive on the Panthers O and Aaron Rodgers. What'd you see?
Well, okay. I think the big thing is, Rodgers was phenomenal. My biggest overarching theme is I like what I'm seeing from the Chiefs defense. And I know people out there are going to go, what? They let up 31 points. And, okay, it's better than what we've seen in other weeks. That's all I'll say. It's 374 yards of total offense. That's not egregious. I know that's not perfect, but they made life hard on Green Bay last night. And it isn't Aaron Rodgers, number 12, a quarterback. That game's there to be had. They're going to pull it off. But, number 12 just pulled it off with some of his great audibles, some of his, whether it was the flip into the end zone in the back corner, or it was the first drive of the game and he's getting sacked and he throws the ball 50 yards down the field as he's falling to the ground and the guy catches it to put them on the 10-yard line. Like, again, those are like the Chiefs D coordinator. He won the play, like against the Packers offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But the Packers offensive coordinator is like, I have Aaron Rodgers, and he trumps your defense, so eat that.
Makes me very smart.
Yeah, that's really it.
Well, there's a graphic on that, too, because you've talked about this on the podcast.
Okay.
So I think we have the numbers for it. Weeks 1 through 6, this is the pressures and the blitz for the Kansas City Chiefs. Week 1 through 6, they were 20th in blitz rank in the NFL, 18th in pressure rank. And then they listened to Chris Simms Unbuttoned before week 7. And they're now 8th in those 2 weeks in blitz percentage and 6th in pressure percentage. So they exactly like you said, and it seems like they've embraced it now. We don't have a good defense, not great, right? We have a great offense, elite offense. Even without Patrick Mahomes, we can score some points. So let's try to make stuff happen, especially against one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game.
Yes, they're disguising, they're blitzing, they're giving a lot of different looks, they're doing a lot of creative things. And you saw Aaron Rodgers at times, trying to get out of plays at the line of scrimmage. He's telling people to do this because he knows, gosh, the play we called and what they're going to do to us is going to screw us over here. We got to change it. All of that. That was part of why they won, too. If you didn't have a really experienced quarterback who knew how to get in and out of certain plays against certain defenses, you're not going to win last night. Spagnuolo he's great right now. I mean, what he's doing. It's a total curveball from what they were the first 6 weeks of the year. And they're, they do have the ability, and they matched up very well, first off, with the Packers man-to-man. That was an issue. I mean, the Packers could not separate man-to-man. The only guy that really separated was Aaron Jones and the running backs on a few plays.
Yeah.
Other than that, for the most part.
You got no Devontae Adams still.
No, they need him back. I think that was really glaring last night to me more than anything. When I watched the film, I just went, wow, it's glue all over the field. And the Chiefs' defense is not going into the Hall of Fame or the Legion of Boom or anything like that as far as their secondary, but they were all over them. So I think that is a little scary. I will say this just from, like I said, I love what Spagnuolo did and all the blitzes and creativities, doubled some people in certain situations, doubled Jimmy Graham and the slot receiver on the other side and some third downs, all of that. They do it in a sound way. Okay, that's the other thing too. There's one thing to be creative, but if you're being creative and voiding an area of the field where I go, whoa, that's stupid, that's not good. I want to see creative yet you're being sound and it makes sense. And I'm seeing that. And, I'll say this from the Packers standpoint. I do think they got away from what they have made them a little bit. They got into the shotgun fest a little there for a while, where it was like old Green Bay, hey, Aaron, just save us and get us to the right play. And if it's not the right play, make it happen and make it the right play anyways.
I mean, that might have been Aaron calling.
Well,
it
could have. It could have. Well, I do think that at certain times they need to make sure there's a certain personnel set on the field to where he doesn't get that freedom to just go, let me get in the shotgun, everybody get out, and I'll figure it out. What got them there and what will calm down a team like the Chiefs, and when they did this, it showed when they got into 2 tight end sets or 1 tight end, 2 running backs, and now you have to worry about the run fits and the play action pass. They got away from that for a little while and played into the Chiefs' hands where Spag's like, he's in the shotgun, they're going to pass it, and I'm going to show blitz and drop out, or show blitz and we're going to blitz, or, I'm going to do a creative coverage behind it. So, it was really a chess match between the two. But I really think it came down to, and I know I hate to say this cop out of a phrase, it just came down to 12 making a few plays, the great screen at the end of the game. That was a perfect play call to Aaron Jones to let him run away and score a touchdown. And other than that, I think that's really how I would break it down more than anything. But it was Rodgers' physical ability that helped them out, and I'm encouraged with what I'm seeing from the Chiefs defense.
So the Rodgers play that's on all the highlight reel is the one to Jamaal Williams in the back of the end zone, right? Where he's scrambling all around.
Right.
I looked at the play.
Yeah.
I put on my Chris Simms hat.
Yeah.
I don't like it for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't think it's a good play for him.
But you don't
think it was bad.
Well, I mean, he's committed that he's throwing the Jimmy Graham.
He did say that, right?
Right. So that's where I give
not
Rodgers.
Not even that part of it.
Right.
So I was like, immediately.
Yes.
So you snap the ball. You got 3 receivers to the left.
Yes.
Within the first second.
Right.
Aaron Jones.
Yes.
Is standing wide open on the goal line with no one around him. He didn't even need to have that highlight reel play. It's kind of like in baseball when the center fielder dives because he slowed down, didn't run for it. He didn't need the highlight reel play. Chris is pulling it up on his lap to see if I'm right or not.
I'm going to pull this up and see what you're talking about.
It wasn't that play right there.
Nope. Let me just see. I'll get to it. I might be at the wrong spot.
So he could have had the easy touchdown, but yet elects to go with this Hall of Fame scrambling play. You see?
Yeah.
I think.
No, he could have stuck it on him. There's no question. You're right.
Aaron Jones is wide open.
But this is
into the play.
But this is what you got to take into account here. So now, just in grading, so Ahmed's not wrong. There's a bunch of receivers, 3 receivers to the left. He's right. Aaron Jones is on the outside of the bunch, and they kind of mess up how they're covering all 3 guys, and he's open right away.
Immediately.
But you got to take into account what's being coached in the play at times here. So, no, see, what Rodgers is seeing is a defense end going out and taking Jimmy Graham.
Got it.
So he plays this side first. So he looks over there because he thinks he's going to get the matchup he wants, but the Chiefs don't play man-to-man. They switch it off. So now he kind of comes back, but I don't know if he can't see it or he's just scared because he will play a little conservative at times, especially in these type of situations. He won't take the chance.
So on the other side of the field, there's a defensive end on Jimmy Graham.
Yes,
so,
exactly. And I think that's why he's there. See, you see his eyes there?
Yeah,
see, and then they never really go back to where Aaron Jones is. He makes a little peek at their pass rush because that's what he does too. He just goes, okay, am I good? Can I sit here and keep being Aaron Rodgers and dance in place and make a move? And then he's like, oh, shit, they're bearing down on me. Oh, shit, I got no one to throw it. Well, I got a 6'8" tight end. Let me throw it up to him. And, you know, I take him at his word too. He said he saw.
Might be a running back there too.
Yeah, he saw him coming, wheeling around. And, you know, Rodgers is one of those guys like Mahomes where a lot of the times I would go, man, that's just lucky. But the fact that they do it 9 out of every 10 times, it's hard to call it luck when it always seems to happen.
I like it again then. Okay, it's a good play again.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
Okay,
it's a good play
good.
again.
I like you questioning it, though. Way to
go. One more thing on the Packers offense here that I thought was kind of interesting. And I looked at it last year, 1st and 10. I was like, what do they do on 1st and 10? Because Matt LaFleur came in and they talked about they wanted to establish a run game, take some of the pressure off Aaron Rodgers. I was like, man, it seems like he's throwing quite a bit. But on 1st and 10 this year, they're throwing 51% of the time. Last year is 64% of the time.
There you go.
So they are. They're trying to take, even if they don't always run successfully, they're trying to take some of the pressure off Aaron Rodgers, at least on 1st down. So
yeah, it's making them less predictable, which is creating. I would think they probably have more explosive plays on 1st down this year too. Maybe we'll look that up in the next podcast.
I mean, maybe
because I would think because then it sets up for play action, which they like to do on 1st down. They come out and they gash you on the first play of a drive or something like that because. Yeah, you have seen run on 1st down a lot. So defense goes, okay, let's not let them get to 2nd and 6 here. Let's stop the run. And then they come up with a play action and they dial up something deep down the field.
And they're doing it well too. Running up the middle, they're 5.78 yards per play up the middle, per run up the middle, 3rd best in the NFL.
Yeah, they got away from that last night for a little bit, and they can't forget who they are. I wrote at the end of my notes there. One of the last things I wrote is I like what the Chiefs are doing, and Packers don't forget what you do.
Sure.
And you're not. Let's not revert to shotgun Aaron Rodgers carry us all over the field again. Let's not do that. You're at your best when you run the ball and stay balanced.
Can we go over to the Green Bay D and Chiefs O?
We can.
Because here's the thing. I think 7-1 Packers, you look at it and be like, okay, Packers, elite team. Defensively, there's some potential issues.
There's some issues.
There.
Yes.
What did you see on film from the Packers defense? Because here you're going against the Chiefs, and Andy Reid, okay, good, but no Patrick Mahomes, and Matt Moore looked really good.
Yeah, no, I think, it all stems with the Packers from their interior part of their defense. And I know you've heard me say this a little bit, but, hey, this is when you know, this is the first line I wrote in my notes. Signs when you know your interior D-line is no good is when you play a 2-4 defense, which is two down linemen, 4 linebackers, and one of those linebackers is playing 3 technique in the bear front. So they had Zadarius Smith, who's 265 pounds, playing a position that usually a 310-pound man plays. But because the guy that they have there that's 295 or 300 pounds is no good, they just said, well, he's no good, so let's put somebody else there, and he can't do much worse. So let's do that. They have issues there. That's where it all stems from. The interior, their linebackers, their D tackles, none of it is all that pretty right now. And it puts their secondary in a little bit of a bind because they have to use those guys a little bit to get down in the run game and help and play more aggressive on that end.
Okay. But, I mean, Zadarius Smith is handling it.
He is.
Sacks.
He's got
8 on the year now. He's in that conversation for
phenomenal.
Top defensive players in the league
this
year.
He did phenomenal at 3 technique. It was Zadarius, the guy they moved down. He did a really good job every time. One, because there's a little issue still with the left side of the offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs with Irvin and the kid there, Rankins, they had, who they traded from with the Houston Texans to start the year. But you know, I'll say this. I think there's some positives here for the Chiefs. First of all, Matt Moore did play well. There's no doubt about that. You know,
24 of 36, 267 yards, 2 touchdowns for Matt Moore, a quarterback rating over 100.
Yeah, did a lot of good things. Like, I did not come away going, oh my gosh, I mean, he missed a lot of throws, and if he would have hit these throws, they would have won the game.
I mean, it helps when Travis Kelce is wide open on that play, but it was like you said, a Patriots fake end around pitch to Tyreek Hill, and then things open up.
Yeah, well, it's play design, and that's what they kind of did. I mean, the formula for the Chiefs was early on, especially when they kind of started driving the ball and got back to 14-14, it was run the ball, simple passes, and then what I call some Andy Reid specials, like that play there. Fake the toss, fake the reverse to Tyreek Hill, and now, Travis Kelce gets like lost in the shuffle, like he's down blocking a part of the line of scrimmage, and he pops out the backside, and Matt Moore made a nice throw. But I think that was encouraging too. And I think it shows that the Chiefs can win games, with more than like, we got to be in Patrick Mahomes and shotgun and throw it 50 yards down the field every play. Some things that jumped out to me about the game, is like for all what the Chiefs do on on offense, running the football and getting to like two backs, 1 tight end and all of that. The one thing I think they might take away from the film is man, if we run the ball a little bit, there's this like whole little other offense we can tap into if we get a fullback and a tailback and Travis Kelce at the traditional tight end place and Tyreek Hill's on one side and Sammy Watkins is on the other. What they lose sometimes is their ability to play just like match up football. We're running the ball. LaShawn McCoy for 5. LaShawn McCoy for 5. You know what it does? All of a sudden, safety's down. Now it's one-on-one with Hill and Watkins on the outside. And there was some plays where, you could throw some comebacks and some out routes to Tyreek Hill, which will lead to go routes and other things like that.
Do they need to break one of those runs, though, because their longest rush was 9 yards? I mean, do they still have to have that big play threat? Even if you are giving them 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, if you don't have the potential for that big strike?
Yes. Yeah. Well, they need the potential of the big strike.
Yeah.
Would I like to see
with Tyreek Hill or
Well,
something.
yeah. And, there was a few shots they took down the field where, like, Moore threw it into double coverage one time with Tyreek Hill down there. Could they have maybe found a few more ways to creatively throw the ball down the field? Sure. But, I think Andy Reid did his best, and I think the Packers were very aware of where Tyreek Hill was, too. So he wasn't like – I never looked at the film and went, oh, man, Matt Moore, if that was Patrick Mahomes, that was a touchdown.
Right.
No, they kind of played, a little conservative or more conservative in the pass game. It certainly wasn't aggressive down the field, but I do think it should open the eyes up for the Chiefs to go, man, we don't need to be in, 3 wide receivers, shotgun every play. We can do some other things to create some big plays.
Packers, the defense will be the issue, giving up 6 yards per play, 23rd in the NFL. Where they have excelled, though, Chris, is in the red zone.
Yeah, they don't let you score touchdowns.
Giving up a touchdown just 50% of the time. That's 8th best in the NFL.
Yep.
And on offense, where they have the 5th time of possession in the
There you go. Well, that's a good
NFL.
formula. That's showing you. So you're not scoring touchdowns. They're eating up clock, and then of course with Aaron Rodgers, they usually are scoring touchdowns once they start to sniff the red zone in general. The biggest play and the biggest moment of the game, we got to, before we move on.
Yep.
Hey, this game is going to be a shootout. The Chiefs are in the position of power, and LaShawn McCoy fumbles.
Yeah.
And that really kind of swang the momentum and the power of the game back into the Packers' favor. But at that point, they were on their heels and in trouble. But he fumbles, and they have a 5-play, 27-yard drive, touchdown, and they were kind of in control from that point on.
All right, is that it?
Yeah, I
is
think
there
so.
Anything else to get into?
Oh, yeah, the only thing I will say, I think the
Yep.
Packers need to adopt the New England way, okay, on defense. Your D-line ain't going to get it done, so just get over it. Put in linebackers, just like I talked about with the Chiefs for a few weeks. Like, you can't have a quick strike offense and a slow death defense. With the Packers, they're erring a little bit on like, oh, we're doing this and we're being sound. Okay, yeah, great, you're being sound, but they're still running for 5 yards up the middle every time they run it, or they're still moving the ball. I would like to see them throw out more of their linebackers I'll do the Patriots thing. Linebackers everywhere, standing up. They have the secondary to match up with guys, and Pettine's creative where he has creative zone blitz coverages. I think they can play that a little bit where they put Fackrell and Blake Martinez and Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith and Rashawn Gary all on the field together and do some creative things up front. I don't think the results will be any worse than in the run game, especially. Yeah. And maybe you confuse some people and create some more plays that way too.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Take these. I don't know why I do that.
There was no, I think from either one of those games, schematical, where other than, Shanahan's schematics, I think were special. The rest of these games kind of played out the way I expected or thought they did on TV.
Okay, we're going to go through the final games, but we're going to do it a little bit of mix of headlines and the newest favorite song that I have, the biggest sensation.
You don't listen to music, so.
This is not by Dr. Dre.
No.
This is, damn,
by
okay.
Dr. Chris Simms.
Damn. I'm okay. Damn. I'm okay.
Yeah, no, yes.
I'm okay. The legal gambleizing.
Oh, baby.
I am Chris Simms. I'm okay. Damn. Okay.
Illegal gambleizing.
Hey, illegal gambleizing, you better be
Soon
careful.
to be legal gambleizing everywhere.
Yep.
That's coming.
That's coming, that's right.
Can I give you a damn okay?
Of course.
How about, I think we've done them before, and you're not totally on the Gardner Minshew train yet.
No, but yesterday deserves it.
A damn okay.
Yes, it does.
Came back, bounced back, and there were a couple times where he was very Aaron Rodgers-esque.
That's why it deserves it. You're right. We were giving him damn okays because he was handing the ball up the middle to Leonard Fournette. It was when we were like, man, Minshew gives a hell of a handoff.
Good strategy.
Yesterday was legit. He made some big-time plays.
So there was a 70-yard touchdown to Chris Conley.
Right.
Where the Jet safety, Jamaal Adams, if you look at the play, should have had his first sack of the year. He was sent on a blitz.
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette just basically whiffs.
Right.
But Minshew was able to get around him, elude, and then you have that play late in the game where he throws it right in between two defensive players and finds, I forget who it was in the Chark in the end zone.
DJ, Chark.
So it was. It was above and beyond.
Yes.
For Gardner Minshew, and so it's interesting. He was the 10th of 11 quarterbacks taken in the draft this past year, and it does go to show you. And I was kind of thinking about the Daniel Jones situation, where Daniel Jones is a good quarterback and a talented quarterback, but I think the idea of the mistake taking him that high is that there were opportunities to get a Jarrett Stidham in the 4th round, a Drew Lock in the 2nd round, obviously a Gardner Minshew in the 6th round. We didn't know how they'd turn out. But there are some opportunities to get these guys that might have equal value to Daniel Jones 5 years from now.
Yeah, well, maybe. I would say still no to that. I think Daniel Jones still has a higher end ceiling than all those guys you mentioned there, definitely. And listen, I know I was one of the guys that was questioning Daniel Jones, but I've seen enough now that I'm not questioning a whole lot. But to your point, Gardner's got some starting quarterback traits to his game. He is smart. He is a consistent thrower of the football. Is his arm big time? No, but it's still a good arm. And then the last piece of the puzzle, and I think what you're referring to is when shit breaks down or the offensive coordinator doesn't call a play where somebody's open and the defensive coordinator won the play, he's capable of still making it look like the offense won the play. And that, to me, is a big part of evaluating the quarterback. Hey, anybody can hit the 10-yard curl that's wide open. I'm not going to go, oh, my gosh, if we didn't have that quarterback to throw the 10-yard curl, we would be screwed as a football organization. I don't put a lot of credit into that. But when the 10-yard curl is not open and then reads 2, 3, and 4 aren't open, what do you do off of that? That is a big, thing I evaluate at the quarterback position.
If you're the head coach who's quarterbacking the last few games of the regular season, once Nick Foles is back healthy, who's the quarterback?
It's a tough decision. I think I would go back to Nick Foles.
Why?
I do. I just think Nick Foles, for the point of the year you're about to be in, he's a little more proven. He is definitely a little more battle-tested we're getting into playoff-type football and things like that. Yes, I think I would go with him, but either way, you have a guy like Gardner Minshew who is going to be an asset to your football team for the next few years.
This is his time. This is what he does.
Yeah,
comes
so
at this part of the year.
You would roll with him, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's a tough call. I don't know if I'm right. I'm just saying.
You have a positive. You have Gardner Minshew who stepped up, and Nick Foles comes in, and he's proven he can do it late in the year, and so we'll see if he can do it again.
Yeah. The big thing is politics of football will come into that decision.
I got a headline for Texans.
Because they're not going to want to have the guy that's making $20-something million a year sitting on the bench.
100%.
So that's
there's ways to walk away from these contracts, but not
yet.
Free always,
Right,
and not yet, probably.
Right.
Texans and Raiders. Texans get the win. My headline for that one, though, if we go to headlines, Watt now. Just too unfortunate that J.J. Watt lost for the season once again. Deshaun Watson was great, but my concern with the Texans and looking at the numbers is that even with them, they had the 21st defense in yards per play, 28th in passing yards given up.
Yes.
24th in sack rate. So
Right.
even with J.J. Watt, that defense was not good.
Not good. No, I know. The only thing they're good at is stopping the run. Other than that, this is the big concern with the Houston Texans. There was a game yesterday again. There was like really no points where I felt like they were going to stop the Oakland Raiders. Finally got a field goal stop towards the end of the game that made it 24-20 to where then it allowed Deshaun Watson to go down on one more big drive and make some miracles happen. I mean, Deshaun Watson is just a phenomenal football player. The Raiders, though, again, I think the Raiders are heading in the right direction.
They do look good.
They do look good. Their offense is, of course, really well coached with Gruden. He's got the right formula there and everything he's doing. But I picked the Texans to win this game, and I know I picked a close game, and I can't remember what I picked because, I thought that the Raiders would move the ball on them. Like you said, there's not a lot of difference makers on that Houston defense, and people are scot-free in the passing game way too much. But I think the biggest thing is Deshaun Watson. When he plays a team like the Raiders, who don't have difference makers on their side of the ball, on the defensive side of the ball, like last week we saw with the Raiders, quarterbacks like Watson and Rodgers, they can single-handedly take over games against defenses like the Oakland Raiders because they don't have great pass rushers, linebackers, nothing special. A lot of good in the secondary, but nothing great. And those tend to be like those type of quarterbacks, Mahomes, Watson, Russell Wilson. Those are the kind of teams they can just physically win with their great ability.
Every team in this division got a win. Texans get a win. Colts get a win. They beat the Broncos 15-13, another close loss for the Broncos. My headline for that is catching flack. So Joe Flacco said we're now a 2-6 football team and we're afraid to go for it in the 2-minute drill. Just feels like we're kind of afraid to lose a game. Why can't we be aggressive in some of these situations? It almost seemed like he thought he was talking to Vic Fangio, but it was actually talking to the media at that time. So they had the ball. They had the lead by a point.
Yeah.
And they had, it was like a 4th and 3. And
I thought it was even
4th and 5.
4th and 5, yeah.
From the Colts, 43 with 155 left.
Right.
It's like we're sitting here at 2 and 5. Let's go for it. I agree with him.
I get it. I mean, I do. Like, you want to be aggressive. Yeah, you got nothing to lose. But his defense had played phenomenal. Okay, and they were going to punt it. They punted them deep down there. They almost had a safety on the first play of the drive. I mean, if Von Miller tackles Jacoby Brissett, it's going to be a safety, and the game is going to be over.
Right.
I mean, that's going to be it. But Jacoby Brissett breaks the tackle and throws a laser down the sidelines and makes a big play like that. I don't understand Joe Flacco coming out and saying all this stuff publicly. I don't. Part of the reason they didn't go for it on 4th and 5 is because they don't trust you or the offense.
I mean, that is true.
So that's like, you got to take that into account.
And now he's hurt. We got breaking news, herniated disc for Joe Flacco.
Well, he was holding his neck. I saw the play it happened, and he kind of scrambled, and somebody hit him on like the neck or head, and the whole game he was on the sideline, had people working him. So he's out?
He's out.
Saying?
He's out.
Wow, he's out. So
the Drew Lock era?
So we'll see the Drew Lock era start here.
Well, no, it is not going to be Drew Lock.
Wow, so he's still not ready to go either.
Brandon Allen.
The Brandon Allen show.
The Brandon Allen era.
That's what we wanted to see. That's why we tune into the Broncos, the Brandon Allen era.
Colts get a win. They were not impressive.
They were not impressive. It's one. Wednesday deep dive. I'm going to go back and find out what I would like to know. Listen, I know the Broncos defense is really good. I was shocked that the Colts got kind of stymied the way they did. And then Vinatieri with the clutch field goal. I mean, come on. That's unbelievable. Misses an extra point, misses a field goal, and still makes a 51-yarder.
Steps up when he needs to. As long as we're doing breaking news, might as well do the other real quick breaking news.
Yeah.
Jets traded their defensive lineman Leonard Williams to the Giants for a 3rd-round pick this year and a 5th-round pick next year.
Wow.
Your quick thought?
Well, I'm a little surprised, okay, from really the standpoint of the Jets. I mean, they just don't have a lot of blue-chip players on that side of the ball. And, hey, maybe Leonard Williams is still really good for my money. Okay?
You don't know why the Jets would give him up?
Well, I think ultimately what they're doing is he's in the 5th year. They're probably afraid he's going to ask for big money, and maybe they just don't feel like he fits for the future plans of the organization. He's not one of their guys, whatever it may be. I get the Giants wanting him. I mean, Gettleman's showing he wants big people. You know, he's in a division with the Eagles and the Cowboys and the Redskins, who all have really good, big, overpowering offensive lines. This gives them more versatility. Leonard Williams is kind of a DN/D tackle type. So, I mean, the Giants, I mean, you give up a 3rd and a 5, you're going to be probably signing him to some sort of either franchising him or signing him to some sort of long-term contract when the year's over, I would expect. But I am surprised to see the Jets let him go.
It's the first trade ever between the Giants and the Jets.
I was going to say, I can't remember one.
Never happened before.
No.
First one, Leonard Williams, that trivia answer. Also, another trade.
Yeah.
Miami traded the running back Kenyan Drake to the Cardinals for a 6th-round pick.
Yeah.
They got David Johnson with an injury.
Right.
Chase Edmonds, who left the game last week.
Yep.
So
this was a rumored one that this could possibly happen. There was some interest there. He certainly is going to fit what the Cardinals want to do on the offensive side of the ball. You know, he is more of a spread type of running back. He's had a fumbling issue. I think that's really where he's kind of probably lost his trust with the Dolphins organization. You know, whether it's fumbles or, drop pass when they had the 2-point conversion against the Redskins a few weeks ago. But certainly a piece of an offense that the Cardinals need, and I understand them making that move.
The trade deadline is Tuesday. I'm going to give you 3 names. Who do you think goes? Who do you think stays?
Ooh.
A.J. Green, wide receiver, Cincinnati. Chris Harris Jr., corner, Denver. Washington left tackle, Trent Williams. Who stays, who goes? Who gets traded?
Chris Harris Jr.
Gets traded?
I think he will get traded.
Okay.
Yes.
A.J. Green?
Gosh, I want it to happen so badly, but I don't think that'll happen.
They don't seem motivated to want to do it.
And I think, I'm sure Zach Taylor's in their ear like, hey, listen, I want to coach the offense here for a few more years, and I'd like to have a star receiver to be a part of the show here.
And what's his value, too? They might not be able to get back great value.
Maybe not to what they totally want. Yeah, because he is due for a new contract. He is at that age where, teams are going to try to say, oh, well, he's starting to hit the decline and all of those
he's
issues.
Been hurt quite a bit last couple of years.
And I mean, Redskins are just too stupid to trade Trent Williams, so I don't think that'll happen either.
2 more games.
Yeah.
I want to give, to Mike Evans, 11 catches, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns in a loss.
Yeah, I mean,
to the Titans.
One of the best receivers in football that we don't really ever get to talk about because they just lose.
And we've been talking a lot about Chris Godwin, about him and Jameis. So the Bucs, 4 turnovers. They were all from Jameis Winston, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. I think it's time to turn a new leaf. I think we're almost there for the Buccaneers.
Yes, it seems, like it's going down the inevitable path. The Buccaneers that was there to be had yesterday. They could have won the game.
That fumble that was
they got down
dead.
Yeah, the fumble that's blown dead. I mean, and again, a little like we talked to Giants, where the Giants just got in the game and they're like, oh damn, we're down 14-0. We just got warmed up. I just broke a sweat. The same thing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They go down, they get an early field goal, then they. What do I want to say here? I just want to make sure I get this right. They snap the ball off of Jameis's face, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that becomes a fumble.
Right.
Tennessee scores the next play to make it 7-3, and then they come back. Tampa Bay once again. They got the ball, and I believe that's when he throws the interception. Am I correct or no? I'm not. This is where they. Just let me make sure I get this. So he threw the interception in the next drive after that. Tennessee didn't drive the ball. They kick it back to them. But they got down 14-3 early on in the game, and they had to try to dig themselves out of a hole there, and it just wasn't easy.
So the Titans win. Anything on the Titans?
The Titans are
4-4 now.
I don't think they're a playoff team, but they're going to ruin a lot of playoff dreams for teams as they go along. They're better with Tannehill. I feel like we're starting to see a semblance of a run game there yesterday. Derrick Henry, I thought, had a number of runs and a few that I think got called back. And the big thing that's going to be a pain in the ass with them, they're New England-ish. They have a secondary that can play man, and then they can do a lot of crazy shit with their front seven. So they're going to be annoying. I just don't think they're going to make it to the playoffs. I think they'll be one of those teams that's just on the outside looking in.
Here's the question. Two other teams, our final game, Eagles and Bills.
Damn, we didn't even hit this one. I forgot about this.
Can you believe that? We saved the best for last. The Eagles were not looking like a playoff team when they lost to Dallas 37-10 last week. Come back, and they beat up on a really good Bills team, giving them their second loss of the year, 31-13. When asked about it after the game, Lane Johnson said, 4-4 looks like we're average. So they have they see there's still work to do, but it was good. If you're going to give a damn okay in this game, Miles Sanders, 65-yard touchdown.
Definitely. Or just the Eagles' run game in general.
Sure.
I've been kind of pounding the table. Can the Eagles and Carson Wentz get underneath the center? Can they run the ball downhill again? They got one of the most big, powerful offensive lines in football, and they don't do it. So I saw that yesterday once again. I like that. The defense, it just showed them having a little like Ronald Darby back and a Sidney Jones, back out of corner and all that, a little more health in the secondary. Still not totally healthy, but it does make a difference for them. Darby had the big pass breakup at the end. But the big thing is, again, game-changing moment where the game is, what was it, 7-3? The Bills are in control, and it's a 3rd and 3, and they call a quarterback design sweep to the right, and Josh Allen fumbles, and the game was really never the same. The Eagles scored a few plays later. Dallas Goedert touchdown. They go for 2. It's 11-7, and they kind of controlled the game from that point on. And those are just the little things that if Buffalo wants to be taken real seriously and be like a team that can maybe go to the AFC Championship game and play the Patriots, they got to kind of stop the self-inflicted wounds too. Josh Allen he just still got some of that young Brett Favre in him where there's no play he can't make. And I'm a little surprised they moved the ball like that on the Bills defense, who's been awesome.
Yeah, 31 points against them. Jordan Howard had a good game too, 96 yards with 23 carries.
I'm being hazed.
What'd you hit?
HR has it on film. I'm suing NBC for $7 million. My left shoulder blade hurts now.
You threw it up. Yeah,
yes.
lead
Sunday
ball.
night, $7 million by Chris Simms.
That's every game.
That's it.
We got through all the games, but I do want to say we talked about the Mike Tirico podcast.
Oh, yes.
Josh Norris.
Josh Norris and the Roto World Football Podcast. All those jamokes over there, they're all over their stuff on fantasy football.
And despite listening to it, my teams are terrible.
Yeah, are they?
Yeah, I had David Johnson in one league.
Okay, well, that hurts, right? What's your record right now? In your
3-5.
3-5.
In both leagues, yeah.
Jeez, you suck.
Embarrassing.
Yep, you suck. You're like the Miami Dolphins of fantasy football.
No, not that. Not quite that.
No,
bad.
What are you? Give me who are you?
Like the Buccaneers.
You're the Buccaneers.
There's some flashes.
Okay, Jameis. Okay, Jameis. Sure. But yes, the Roto World Football Podcast. Anybody who's interested in fantasy, or really just listening to football and how guys are getting used, they're going to steer you in the right way, always. The whole crew is extremely knowledgeable. I know I've said that a lot, and I actually have getting less text messages about fantasy this year.
People are just listening to the podcast.
I hope so. That's what I kept saying.
You directed them
text
over there.
me, listen to them.
I'll give you Josh's phone number.
Hopefully that's working.
You can text him.
Yeah. Steelers are going to win tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it'll be a blowout. I'm going to say Miami hangs around. I don't know my exact score, so I want to get to my exact score, okay?
That you gave on the air?
Yep, I got it right here. I'm going to beat you to it. Here we go. It is
a lot of notes this week.
Well,
wow.
You know it. I got Dolphins 21 or Steelers 21, Dolphins 13. I think it'll be that type of game. I think Brian Flores' defense will be a pain in the butt for the Steelers, but the Steelers win the game nonetheless.
I don't even know what the line is on the game, but
yeah.
Minus 14.5.
So you think that's a lot. But I wouldn't bet on. Don't bet on bad teams.
Yeah, don't get money involved.
That game could be 21-13 with 4 seconds left, and Ryan Fitzpatrick will throw 2 pick sixes, and you'll lose. He's capable. So don't do it. Don't bet on bad teams. All right, you the man.
That was it.
We're done.
Well done.
Yep. All right, everybody. That's it for Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Wednesday, we'll do the What the Happened podcast. Big will be on the show as well. We'll deep dive into some more film. Hope everybody enjoyed this. Be good. Enjoy Monday Night Football. Talk to you Wednesday. Peace. Yo, what's up? Come on, man. Subscribe on YouTube to Chris Simms Unbuttoned podcast. I need you. Please hit the subscribe button, please.